What's up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to an all-new Let's Play of our Hearts of Iron 4 campaign as the French Empire. We are on the 17th of February, 1940, and sadly enough, we are kind of in the midst of a stalemate, but I would actually consider that a success, and that's because if you look at the German Reich, obviously by this time in historical World War II, all of France would have been annihilated. But instead, we have managed to take over the island of Sardinia, we have managed to take over all of Libya, and we are secretly, actually, even though it doesn't look like we've conquered much of Ethiopia, in the last episode we have secured the port in Somalia and inside Eritrea. So all of these units inside Ethiopia are actually going to wither away. So we've already won the battle. All we need to do now is basically just use some, some of these motorized units and basically just sit on the port. And basically, the United Kingdom is going to do the rest. Now I'm looking around the map. The only thing that I'm a little bit concerned about, it says we're losing some of these fights here. So I will probably go ahead and throw on down another unit. And are we out of motorized troops? No, we have 481 motorized vehicles. We have a lot of anti-tank and a lot of artillery. But I'm looking around the map. I would like to go ahead. Man, it would be so much easier if I had a land fort. But we are currently well, actually, we're not even repairing it because we are basically under siege. But all I need to do is throw in some sort of armor here. But it is a little bit more challenging, and this is the weakest part. I only have level 5 forts, and I probably could go ahead and take these mountaineers and swing they're a little bit far. Let's take these teal units and move them on over, and let's actually throw in a general. I'm surprised. Ooh, we do not have any generals available, so let's go ahead and hire a general. This is a level 1 horrible garbage general, but he will level up in time. So I guess now that these 3 units are moving on over, let's go ahead, slow down the clock, and eventually start pressing on again. Okay, so it looks like we're going to be gaining back some organization. All we really need to do is just take a quick glance every hour that goes by. If I can click the province, this is going to be 67% completed. So our land fort is definitely being improved. All of our organization is going up as well. And every time we fight the enemy, we are gaining experience, which is really nice to see. Are we still building any more mountaineers? No, we are not, because we are lacking quite a bit of infantry equipment. And we're lacking quite a bit of other resources. I do want to also point out that we are absolutely out of naval bombers because we never actually built any, and that's fine. But we are going to go ahead and actually dismantle this air wing because it's basically an air wing with 0 units. Okay, let's look around the map. Basically, we're in the 21st of February. All of our motorized units are eventually going to arrive to where they need to be. And as you can see, these units are starting to take attrition. As they continue to move, their organization won't necessarily last as long. And in fact, let's actually push them out while we can. So I'm going to bring over 1 motorized division, and it looks like we've now secured an airfield. And Sweden has joined the Allies. That is not historical. And in fact, that's incredibly odd. But, so yeah, looks like Sweden has joined the Allies. I am not really all that happy about that, because I wanted to play a very historical playthrough. But, I guess we're going to see what happens with Romania. Maybe they'll join the Axis. But nevertheless, our fort is still being repaired. It is actually leveling on up as well. It was 67%, and now it's at 82%, so only a few more days, and everything should be on its way. Now, all of our future military factories are obviously going to be using up all of our oil, and then once we start researching medium tanks, I think we'll go ahead and start trying to pump out some of those. We also have some level 2 battleships, but sadly enough, I don't really know if we're going to be utilizing those anytime soon. I also want to go ahead and get some level 1 or maybe even level 2 forts down on the Spanish frontier. Well, there is my level 6 fort inside Champagne, so everything is going well. I don't know if we need to do any repairs, so let's actually bring up all of our military factories, and in fact, I would like to go ahead and get level 1 forts all across the Spanish frontier. So let's bring these down, and these forts are level 1, so they're going to be ridiculously cheap, and they are going to be done very, very soon. I see we have a lot of excess naval experience and and air experience. And after 155 days go by, I am planning to use all of this air experience and pump out as many fighters as I can. And I believe we're going to be having some very powerful units push on through. Looks like there's some small skirmishes going around inside Albania. And let's take a quick glance. All of Somalia has basically been conquered, and as I was predicting, all of the organization inside all of these other areas inside Ethiopia are basically going to wither away because of the lack of supply. Well, now that we've unlocked Jet Effort, we are finally going to unlock ourselves another research slot, which I am absolutely going to start utilizing in our industry, because I would like to, one, build some medium tanks, but I need a lot more resources to make that happen. Mobile Warfare has finally been unlocked. We are now going to start working on Delay, which is 50% off, but the idea is we now have a nice tactic to counter shock. So it is going to be some time before we actually start leveling up our troops, but I'm hoping that we can eventually make this happen. We have 100 army experience. I would like to make our actual divisions more powerful, but I don't think we necessarily have that ability. Oh, and you know what? I absolutely need to remove these recon companies and throw in military police. I'm surprised I haven't done that. Now our cavalry will actually help and suppress some resistance. But the only real issue, though, would be Sardinia, and we already have a lot of units there, so I wasn't expecting any type of what's the word I'm looking for? Resistance. But ultimately, if we look at Libya itself, there's only one province. So if we look at Libya, there are actually no buildings here at all. 0.25 slots. It's a lot of wasteland, but we have one province with 0 slots. 0 buildings, but we have the ability to build up to 4 of them. So that is kind of nice. There is a lot of really low infrastructure, and I'm not sure that I want to really build in foreign territory rather than my own. But let's go ahead and try to get out some additional military factories so then we can start ruling the skies once again. We have a lot of close air support, and I think our best bet is to actually go ahead and expand this close air support to have 200 units rather than 100, so we can do a lot more bombing. And I would like to also go ahead and bring these 4 mountaineers all the way back down to the Alpine area. So as you can remember from a few episodes, I brought them on up, and I'm just a little worried that bringing troops away could be devastating, but we now have a level 6 fort. Everything is repaired, well, except for the infrastructure. And very soon, when I go ahead and I get this extra research slot, it might be a good idea to start researching better radar stations. So then, who knows, we could definitely make things happen. Secure our own territory from enemy fighters. And it looks like Japan has joined the Axis, and Hungary demands Transylvania from Romania. Now, one of my biggest fears right now is I only have about 1 million manpower, and I know that seems like a lot, but if I start throwing in a lot of our Marines, it could actually, it might not work out in our favor. And I would love to take over the island of Sicily, but this would definitely be incredibly difficult to obtain. So I think what I would do is when I start actually producing some medium tanks, in fact, I feel like I have too many artillery units. The German Reich has called in Japan to the war. Romania rejects the demands, and I'm guessing you are going to join the Allies, as I was suspecting. So Hungary is probably going to demand, the claims on Romania. So therefore, Hungary will join the Axis, and I'm guessing Romania will join the Allies. But we're going to see exactly what's going to happen in the next few weeks. Yep, looks like Romania has ceded the territory rather than going to war, and I'm guessing any moment now the Soviet Union's going to see their weakness, and they're going to take Bessarabia and Bukovina, and we'll see what happens, and I'm guessing whatever's left, they're either going to join the Axis, or the Allies. Alright, let's go ahead and bring on back the default map mode. Yugoslavia is now in the war. Oh my goodness, they've joined the Axis. I actually was not expecting that. So this is going to be a pretty tough war, especially if the Axis somehow manage to take over Sweden and all of Norway. I guess my best bet is to really just try to grow as much as I can. And take island after island. So I'm probably going to try to take Sicily. I'm willing to bet that Iberia... I'm willing to bet that Iberia is going to eventually declare war on me, which is why I'm building up some mountaineers. I would like to go ahead and build more, but I just don't think my production is where it needs to be. In fact, I'm probably building too many motorized units, but I guess that is absolutely fine. And I guess we're just going to throw out more and more military factories. And it is going to take some time before we get there. But we are definitely making strides. A non-aggression pact from China, that is absolutely fine. Let's go ahead and accept this. I don't think I'm going to be going to war with them anytime soon. Okay, I'm looking around the map. I don't really want to repair these forts because they are going to be repairing for free. But my number one priority, if I could somehow get this next research slot, everything would just go a heck of a lot smoother. And in fact, I want to start gearing up our air power, which we have been neglecting to do. And I would like a lot more political power as well. I wish I didn't have to hire a new general. That obviously tanked a lot of our resources. And it looks like the Yugoslavian Confederacy has broken away, and you're probably going to join the Allies. Yep, as I suspected, Yugoslavia has split in half, so they are in the midst of a civil war. So we're going to see exactly what happens in the next few weeks. I want to use all of our air experience on our new fighters, but we just haven't researched them yet. It's going to be 114 days. And obviously, here come our new anti-tank capabilities, which are going to be thwarting any German aggression. Any second now. I feel like it's going a little bit slower than it should be. I'll probably speed on up to rank 5 once again. I see that we're not in 1941, and that's absolutely fine. I feel like getting better artillery might be useful. But also getting oh, it's 1940. We are going to go ahead and get the improved computing machine for an additional 5% research reduction. And something was improved. Ah, yes, our anti-tank. But because we have so many of them, you know, I'm not even sure that we need to have this many, you know, anti-tank weapons on the ground. You know what we could do? With all of our extra ones, we probably could just throw them in. Another anti-tank line in the back. Yeah, I usually never do that many, but it's really not a bad idea. I mean, because I have so many extra anti-tank, so many extra artillery, all I really need, though, are about 4 additional units of mountaineers. So let's try to build those now. Oh, I finally do have enough resources. That's new. And I would like more. Can I get more than this? No. But we're going to try it anyway. So we're going to be building 8 divisions, so we're going to have 20 in total on our southern frontier. But we absolutely need more resources. Alright, Sweden has canceled their Lend-Lease. We now have more defense when it comes to our, you know, troops in the field. I want to go ahead and start researching better excavation because that's going to mean we're going to get more resource efficiency. But I'm looking around. Close air support would be incredibly useful. In fact, I'll probably go ahead and grab that. Interwar artillery would be incredibly useful. Getting an actual medium tank is actually exactly what we're going to start researching because we definitely are going to need those. We are actually very close to start producing tanks. Election, wartime exception. France is in a state of war. Normally, an election would be held at this time, but being in the midst of an important conflict, many argue that cannot afford to spend time on political campaigning or a change of leadership if that should come about. Meanwhile, others claim that declaring the ongoing war a valid reason for skipping election is the first step towards eroding the French democracy. After all, letting military matters take precedence over the people's influence could be a slippery slope. Well, the only real difference is we would gain political power, but the popularity of communism and fascism would rise. Absolutely, we are going to go ahead and hold an election because I would gain more national unity, so let's go ahead and do it. And more than likely, I'm going to win the election anyway. I don't think I've ever seen, the leadership change. Alright, the United Kingdom wants to go ahead and lend-lease us some rifles. That's absolutely fine. And it looks like we're down 2.2 thousand infantry equipment. But as soon as we get about 20% training in all of these units, I'm going to go ahead and automatically deploy them. Now, it looks like we've been fighting for quite a long time. A lot of units are going to be gaining a lot of experience, so that is nice to see. And, of course, all of those field hospitals are coming. They are incredibly useful. But I think what my plans are going to be, well, we have an extra research slot, so let's go ahead and begin researching. Excavation would be nice, but I think my #1 priority is probably going to be... I have so many different options. Let's go ahead and get close air support, because then that means our units are going to be more powerful. But I think my #1 priority is our Marines are going to begin getting more beefed up in time. And what I'm going to try to do is actually land on the island of Sicily, and then once I actually isolate this entire province from Italy itself... So I want to land here, but this is a mountainous territory. It's probably going to be ridiculously challenging. If I could somehow land here... Ooh, and they have a level 3 coastal fort. So my #1 priority is to land inside the plains of Italy. If I could somehow take this port and then bring over a lot of tanks, I think we could definitely make this, conquest worthwhile. So the entire goal is to isolate Italy... isolate Sicily from the rest of Italy. Okay, so we've now gone ahead and we've researched something incredibly important, but I don't remember what it was. I'm guessing it was the research slot. We are now going to begin working on our air focus, so we are going to be getting some free air bases and also a little bit of air experience, which sadly we don't really need because we have the maximum amount. But, nonetheless, we are about to research 150 political power, which I am now going to go ahead and throw on in. It would be really useful to get infantry equipment, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw them into light aircraft design. So all of our fighters... You know what? This is garbage. What we're going to do is get infantry equipment design, so that means for the rest of the game, all of our weapons and equipment get a 10% research bonus, which is going to be incredibly useful. Now, don't get me wrong, having better fighters would be useful as well, but you know what? It's just not really that big of a deal. I already have air superiority over all of France, and, if I built some anti-air, it would definitely do a little bit of damage as well. So, Italy is fighting, I believe, inside Yugoslavia, but there's not really that many troops there. And I wonder why those are a different color. What are these? That's odd. They are Albania. No, it's not Albania. They are Yugoslavia. The Yugoslavian Confederation. Not bad, not bad. We've been losing a lot of troops. We had about 1 million. Now we have about 820,000. Now I'm guessing a lot of these are going towards our infantry divisions, which in fact I'm going to go ahead and auto-deploy them now. And I know they're going to go onto this purple group, but what I'm going to do is actually start exercising them now, because I believe most of these units are going to be done exercising, and what I'm planning to do is eventually merge this teal group with the purple one, but because these units are done exercising, I don't want them to continue to exercise and lose organization and not be dug in. So let's go ahead. We have another research slot. I was gonna get excavation, but we're gonna start and continue down mobile warfare. So the entire idea is we're now going to start moving into like a blitzkrieg motion. We're gonna be getting a lot more tank organization and speed, but eventually we are going to be thwarting our way down the blitzkrieg tree, if I could find it, and a lot more powerful, advances. Okay, we are looking around the map. All of these units are exercising as we were expecting them to do. And I feel like these units should exercise as well. Let's do it, just in case. If we do get attacked, we will go ahead and try to do some sort of counter push. And just like that, we are needing more oil. And let's actually get 2 units of oil, because I believe we're going to eventually start producing medium tanks. Now, I understand these are light tanks. I am going to switch these over in time. And I would like to start improving our artillery. In 97 days, we're also going to go ahead and switch over those light tanks to medium tanks. And in 36 days, we're finally going to be able to throw out some light aircraft. Well, anyway, here we are. I believe my next battle plan, like I was trying to say... Well, do I have enough infantry equipment? What I'm going to do is beef up these Marines. I'm going to go ahead and add another unit of Marines. I'm going to go ahead and add a couple units of artillery. And I am going to go ahead and add engineering companies. Let's actually remove one. Engineering companies, recon well, you know what? Let's do 2. We are going to be adding field hospitals, logistics companies, and signal companies. So for 75 experience and a lot of additional manpower, artillery, we are definitely going to be having an incredibly as you can see, look at the difference this equipment makes. So we're going to go ahead and start exercising these troops. And, you know, this is a really powerful unit of Marines, and I think we could definitely make a lot of really strong advances. But I do want to make sure we're not out of infantry equipment or anything else. We are out of carrier fighters and carrier bombers, but I'm not planning on building those anytime soon. We have a lot of anti-tanks, and obviously we have level 2 anti-tank power, so that's going to be incredibly more useful. I'm looking around. The Germans can't really do anything at all. So I'm guessing, should I go ahead and try to improve the economy? I don't think I really want to do that. I was debating on trying to get about 15 additional civilian factories, because don't get me wrong, now that we have the front line, there is no way the Germans would break through. I mean, they could, but they would definitely withstand heavy losses. The Italians are never going to break through. There's no way they could do a naval invasion, because we own all of the Mediterranean and the Atlantic. The only thing I'm a little concerned about would be the Iberians. But if we ever are going to go to war with Iberia, I would immediately take all of my motorized divisions, which are they done inside this area? Yes, they are. Well, they're just about done. So anyway, what I was going to say are all of these troops, all of our motorized divisions, they're going to eventually head up to northern Morocco, and they're going to take it from the nationalist Spain, assuming that they declare war on me. And then all of our Marines are going to take the Balearic Islands, which doesn't necessarily, it's not the biggest thing in the world, but if we could start taking over all of these territories from the Spanish, there's really nothing they can do about it, because we have naval superiority. So we are, this is kind of like a ticking time bomb, but we are somehow coming out on top. And I hate to say this, but we are going to also put a cut in here. So thank you all for joining me. Hope you all have an awesome day. I will see you in our next adventure.